Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys. So we've been covering LG phones on this channel. We got the three main ones that people are mostly interested in, and all these phones are in the $200 price range, even the G8. So we got the G8, G7, and V40. I'm still getting questions about these phones, so we're just going to be briefly talking about which one is going to be best for you. For the reviews and comparisons, be sure to look on the channel for those. I've compared and reviewed all of these against each other. So let's go ahead and look at the prices real quick. Now, just because they diminished in price does not mean that these are bad phones. These are actually some of my favorite phones. That's why I've been collecting them. So you can see V40 219, the G8 260, and the G7, the cheapest out of all, is currently 140. So just steal, absolute steal. So I get a lot of questions about audio. So a lot of people were confused about the audio situation. So yes, the G7 has better audio than the G8 and the V40. If I was going to go in line, when we're talking about the speaker at least, it would be the G7, V40, and then the G8. The G8 is on par with the V40, but it's not as loud for some reason. Now, it could be mine, but I had looked up a couple videos of the G8 speaker, and it seems to be the same. Now, all these phones are pretty powerful. You have the 855 on the G8. You also have the 845 and the 845 on the V40. 6 gigs, 4 gigs, 6 gigs on the G8. All these phones are excellent for gaming, but you have a bigger display on the V40 here. It's an OLED, and then an IPS. Now, some people worry about screen burn-in issues. I've seen them on the V40, so if you want to go the safe route, the G7 is definitely the way to go there. But as a gaming phone, I think you're going to want a bigger display. Now, you do have the 845, and all these play games pretty much on high, so there's no real issue with performance on any of these phones, but you have that bigger display, and I know most people gaming just like that bigger display. So the V40 is going to be probably the best for you for gaming if you really care about that. But let's also talk about content. So content, you're getting really good screen on all of these guys. On the G8, I think has the highest quality color accurate display just because it's newer, and the V40 is bigger, so it could be better for content, you know, if you really like big screens. But I enjoy viewing content on all these. Unfortunately, you have the notch on all these guys, so there's no really, you know, getting around that. You can do this little thing to hide the notch if you want, but it's not a huge deal. So as far as software, these are running Android 9 right now, and they're not getting Android 10 until Q3 of 2020 this year. The G8 actually is already running Android 10, so if that's something that concerns you, then the G8 is definitely going to be the way to go. You also have the 855, so I think the G8 is just the more future-proof device here for 260. I think it's a steal. Now let's talk about the camera situation. Since hardware-wise, these are all pretty much the same. Glass and metal are very premium. They have all the same features, from IP rating to NFC to the headphone jack to pretty much anything you need. This does have it. So cameras are going to be the G8. I think they have excellent cameras. It would go like the G8, and then it would pretty much be tied with the V40 and the G7, but the G7 or the V40 has an advantage here because you have those dual cameras for wider selfies, and you also have that triple camera lens on the back. It's the only one with the triple camera setup, so you have that telephoto lens, which is pretty good. So if you're into that, then definitely look at the your V40, and especially if you take a lot of selfies, you have that wide angle selfie camera, which is definitely helpful. And as far as battery life goes on the three of these phones, going with the G8 here, it seemed to give me the best battery life since it has the biggest battery out of all these guys. And I just got better battery life on this phone. I think the weakest battery life will probably be the V40, since you have that bigger display. You're looking at around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, and you can easily get 7 hours and 30 minutes on the G7 screen on time, and then you're looking at 8 to 9 hours of screen on time for the G8, and that is if you're a light user. If you're a gamer, then you know, the battery life will vary. So that's pretty much it. You can't really go wrong with any of these phones. I mean, they're just excellent. The price on the G8 is just crazy right now. You're getting a really good deal. Links will be down below if you do want to purchase. But yeah, you can't really go wrong. And like I said, these are getting Android 10, so it's not like they're going to be super outdated just for, you know, until Q3. So excellent LG's lineup this year in the used phone market is definitely a steal. So what do you guys think? Are you guys considering buying one? Do you already have one? I know a couple of my subscribers already have these phones, have really good experience with them, and I just think they're a great deal, these old budget flagships. So very excited to see what LG does with the V60, I believe is coming out, and then we have the G9 coming soon, so definitely going to cover that as well. So very excited. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one.